So yeah, computer nightmare tonight. Okay. All right. So what we're obviously seeing from underneath the water here is we're having a look at a number of things. One of the main things we're looking at is your body position.
Yeah.
Now it's actually not too bad. And I said when you were kicking, when I could see you swimming, obviously from the side there, your heels are breaking the surface quite nicely.
Okay.
And yeah, do getting your legs up a little bit higher, but it's not. They're not too bad. I'll look on the way back.
It's a little bit out of control. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
well, we'll have a closer look at that in a second.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we saw from the side view, we saw the way your arms were covering over the water. Your left hand was kind of almost overextending and entering the water, little finger first.
Yeah.
And then your right hand, as you saw, was kind of crossing over and entering thumb first.
Right.
So there's your right hand coming in. And as you said, that spear's in. Yeah, so what we're getting here is it's spearing in, and then you've got a bit of a push down the front end of the stroke. So what I mean by that is, rather than actually generating any propulsion, so by propulsion we want to be pushing the water backwards, we're pushing down with the hand. Okay, so if you play that through, we're pushing down, down, down. Now if you're looking for when we're actually starting to generate some backwards power here, some propulsion, keep on playing it through, it's probably not until we get down here where we actually start generating any propulsion that way. Okay? And what we're seeing here is you've got a very straight arm. So you're pushing down like a lever at the front end. Do you get any shoulder problems or anything? Or soreness? On the right hand side or
on the right side? Just a bit in my neck, sort of pulls into my neck.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, and what I'll do afterwards is I'll show you a little demonstration about why that's probably caused.
Okay.
When you push down with a straight arm like that, what you're doing is you're putting a lot of pressure on the shoulder. So you're pulling through with the shoulder.
Right.
Rather than rotating, which I'll show you in a second, rotating and getting your elbow up high and getting into a better catch and pull through ultimately, you start to pull through using your chest and your lats instead. They're much bigger, stronger muscles in your shoulders. So this is just kind of one of the things we're going to work on today is straightening you up in the water. And I'll show you the drills in a second. Straightening you up in the water and improving the quality of your actual catch and pull through the water. Okay? So that's one of the reasons you're feeling the shoulder pain. Not generating a huge amount of propulsion, and you're pushing down. When you push down at the water, here, when you push down, what generally happens is you push down there. It's like a lever. You lift the chest up. You lift the chest up, cause the legs to drop. Like a seesaw. So we want to be not pushing down, we want to be pushing the water back. If I just, while we're here, if I just show you Rebecca Adlington, who's not bad not a bad person to compare yourself against. Let's just take this back here. Let's wait for Becky to turn around. She's not too shabby a swimmer, Rebecca Adlington, as you know. Okay, so. So here we are. Here she's in the same position as you. So she spears into the water. Now, if you watch what happens here, the wrists are slightly tipped forwards. So there's a slight angle down here. So she's just starting to feel the water at the front end of the stroke. And then what happens, which is what we're really looking for, the difference is is the elbow stays high. Now watch what happens to her forearm. So that forearm is turning into a big old paddle there, look. So it's immediately pushing the water backwards. So she has a big angle, big bend in the elbow here. You can try and find it from a different. There we go. So this is her. I'm showing the same thing but forwards, from the forwards here. This is the angle we're looking for. So that, when I say angle, oops, wrong one. Between 100 and 120 degrees.
Okay, so 180 straight.
So if I have a look at you about here, there we go. So just take this back, so you're at the same position as Becky. So there's your hand spearing in. So what you're doing here, look, is pushing straight down. The arm is straight. Get rid of all those lines. So it's completely straight. there's almost no point in measuring that. It's 180 degrees, it's a straight line. So what you're doing is you're putting all that pressure on the shoulder here. Putting all that pressure on the shoulder here.
So that elbow should be further out.
Yes. Yeah. So the elbow, what you're actually doing is you have the elbow up high. So the elbow is further out. So you'd be more like that position rather than straight. So we'll do some drills to work on that.
Okay.
And one of the drills we'll work on is, well, we'll work on the sculling first of all. There's some other drills we're going to do before these because I'm kind of showing these things slightly out of order. We're going to work on some alignment here as well, crossover, but I'm just going to show you these here as soon as we're talking about it. So skull number 1. So this is with a pull buoy.
Okay.
And ultimately what Paul here is doing is he's mimicking the front part of the stroke. So you remember when we saw Becky's fingers just tip down at the wrist?
Yeah.
That's this is what we're doing. We're trying to train our body to get used to being in that position with the hands out front and always fingertips below wrist, below elbow, below shoulder. So there's always that line. And he's just practicing sweeping the water in and out. And this is kind of almost, call it kind of getting a feel for the water at the front end of the stroke. You can just feel the pressure on the palms of your hands. Right. And once you feel that pressure, that's what you're kind of almost taking hold of the water, and that's what you push back behind you, yeah?
Okay.
So we'll do some sculling. And that will stop us, will try and help us pushing down with this lever. See how your hand is above your elbow there? And just pushing straight down, straight on that side as well. But really, the main one that's going to help you, can be quite difficult to get to grips with really sometimes, is the doggy paddle. I don't know if you've seen this drill before.
No.
Okay. Well, it is, as the name suggests, a bit of a doggy paddle. So your hands are staying under the water.
All right.
Yeah. So you're extending forward like you do in full stroke.
Yeah. But not go up.
But you don't. Yeah. So you're recovering underneath the water. But the primary objective with this drill really is for you to extend forward. So again, this is the position we're in when we spear forward here, look. Yeah. So with the arm outstretched, the fingertips are pointing down. And this is what we're trying to practice. See this angle here.
Okay.
So there's Paul there with his, as we measured it before, 100 to 120 degrees. Okay. So we get you drilled into reaching forward and pulling that back. I'll do a land demonstration with you in a second, just to kind of try and emphasise that. Yeah. So if I play this through, so you've got some footage of this. So what I'll do afterwards, I'm going to send you an email with a link to all the relevant drills for you. So you don't have to remember any of this. As part of this as well, I'll give you 30-day activity swim smooth app. So it's an online bit of software where you can link through to all the drills. There's training plans on there, all sorts of stuff. So I'll send you through to some links to the relevant parts. You don't have to remember it all. So doggy paddle. So, I said before that we're kind of doing things slightly out of order. So they're two of the drills we're going to work on. Now, so that just crashed again. All right. I'm really not doing very well today. Still recording, eh? Yep, still recording, good. So all these crashes are going to be recorded, so you're going to get copies of all the crashes as well. So the main thing is you're going to get all the footage there. You might have to kind of put up with little breaks in the middle. I'm a professional, honestly. All right, so we're going to have a look on the way back here. So what we're looking at here is an angle which most people don't get to see. I'm just going to find a start here. So this is where we see how good your body is in alignment. Okay, so of course ideally we want to be travelling down the pool almost as though we're on kind of rails. You know, we want everything to be going in the same direction. If I just quickly show you a chap called John Van Hazel. I don't know if you've seen the swim smooth animation.
No.
I'll send you a link to that as well. But if I just pause that, I'll show you. This is the swim smooth animation. So you can play with this, and you can actually just spend time looking at it, and seeing how that compares to your stroke from all different angles. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the animation. Said to be super smooth, perfect stroke.
Yeah.
You could call it the perfect stroke. This is the guy that animation's based on.
Amazing.
Okay.
Must be very good.
So, when I talk about alignment in the water, this is what I'm talking about. So it'll go above him in a second. There we go. Okay. So he's extending forward, and there's just about to change clip here. Just take it back a second. So he's extending forward. So if you just put those tram lines down here, hand spears in, everything's nice, and well, tram lines are in the right place there on the way back, it's fine. Okay, so super smooth, super straight. I'll just play that so you can see that. If you look at his head only moves when he turns to breathe. There we go, from above. He's an Olympian, so he's not too shabby, this guy.
All right. It's completely straight. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I've made my point there. That's what we're looking for.
Don't show me.
All right, so I'll play this through while you're here.
Where am I going?
So already, I know you haven't taken a stroke yet, so I'm kind of being a little bit unfair, but get rid of these lines. As we can see, this arm is over this way. So rather than being nice and straight and extending in front of the shoulder, it's over to the right hand side. So we're taking our stroke, and there's our straight arm pull through here. So you're starting to pull through under the water straight, losing a bit of support at the front end of the stroke. So at the moment you don't have anything supporting you and keeping you, or supporting the front end of the water.
Right. Okay.
So what we should always have is draw a line there. You should always have a hand in that area of the front of the head.
Right.
It provides the stability of the front end of the stroke. So if you look at Jono here, his hand is just coming through and pulling through under the water. Just as that hand leaves that area, the other one recovers.
Okay.
Yeah? So with yourself, at the moment there's nothing there at all. Okay, so what will happen is, if you haven't got support, you'll start to sink down the front end of the stroke. And that's because you're pulling through straight rather than leaving that arm out extended with the bent elbow. That makes sense.
Yeah. So within my mind, I need to get my arm completely away before I can actually start on the other one. And that's misconception also.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we're going to do some drills. In fact, I'll just play this through and then I'll carry on kind of going through it. We'll do some drills which will help you straighten up. So although you're not kind of excessively, call it crooked for want of a better way of putting it in the water. Some people are almost like kind of banana shape in the water, so they're very bent. You're not too bad, but what we want to do is we're trying to straighten up this arm here.
Yeah.
So we want that to enter the water and spear in straight.
Okay.
Because that's ultimately what sets up the nice catch, and as we know, we're pulling through straight. So it's not too bad. The arm recovers over the top, but again, there we are. We're heading over that way, look. We're heading over that way. So you've got one arm going that way, and then one arm going over this way.
Yeah, that's a awful.
Yeah. So rather than going in straight, that's what we've got.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you through some drills, which are going to straighten that up.
Yeah.
Now, swimming faults, if you want to point a better way of putting it. One thing is, very often one fault is related to another one. So if we can get you straighter in the water, okay, it'll probably start to already provide a little bit more support at the front of the stroke. Okay. Get you straighter in the water, it will set you up for a better quality catch. And as we've discussed, we can do some work on your catch with your dog and paddle and the skull level and things like that. So we fix this one, it will probably improve some of the other things as well that we've been talking about. What was it? Drills. Okay, so do you have any fins?
Yeah, fins.
Okay, all right.
I've got a buoy. Wow.
Okay, good. So we're going to start off with kick on the side drill. as the name suggests, you're kicking on your side. Let's play this through. And all this drill is getting you used to doing is keeping yourself nice and straight in alignment, that hand out. Remember when we showed that first bit of the clip here? See if you can find it. Just as you pushed off. There we go. Before you even started, you pushed off and that arm is veering over the side here. Yeah. Let's see if I can find a clip of it. There we go. So there we go.
Okay.
He's practicing.
So he's on his side.
He's completely on his side.
Hands flat.
Hand flat out front. So we'll spend some time working on that.
Yeah.
Got the arrow going the other way, going the other way, but I'm trying to draw a straight line there. So he's nice and straight. And what he's doing is he's breathing, and that arm is staying where it is. Okay. Because what you might find with yourself is when you have a tendency, when you breathe, you might have a tendency to rotate a little bit more and pull that arm across underneath with you.
Looks like my head is really out of the water there.
Yeah. It might be just because it's the first stroke, because you've kind of taken a big breath there just to start off. But we'll have a look at that. Okay. So kicking on the side. Let's play that through, so you've got some footage of that on the recording here. Simple as that, really. Nice and relaxed. He's just changing sides. Simple as that. Okay. Get you used to being on your side, nice and straight, with that arm out, stretched out front while you turn to breathe.
Okay. Looks
simple.
Very easy, but
yeah. Okay, so next one. There's a progression from that, which is 6-1-6. So we start to introduce a stroke into it. So it's the same as before, kicking on the side, before we introduce a stroke. Okay. And of course, what we're doing here is we're practicing spearing into the water, and not going straight, like it's not kind of going over to one side and crossing over the centre line like you were, but spearing in and staying straight and really focusing. He's not taking the stroke yet. He's then able to focus on spearing in and keeping that arm straight, and not letting it veer across. All right. So 6-1-6. So you breathe immediately after the stroke. So stroke, breathe, head back in. We'll go through all this. Okay. And what this might also help you with is if you look at the way Paul, this is Paul Newsom, this chap, this is the guy who started Swim Smooth. If you look at that, we said you were kind of losing the support in the front end. You didn't have a hand before, you didn't have any support in front of the head here. Yes. If you look at this drill, he's got one hand here, and then the other hand is actually coming over, and there's a bit of a catch-up at the front. So it's going to help you, it's going to promote you having a bit of support in front of the stroke as well.
And not to cross over.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then just finally, 6-3-6, which is where we start to become more like regular swimming. Okay, so it's kicking on the side, starts off kicking on the side like we were before, but then 1, 2, 3 strokes. And again, if it's broken up, it allows you to really focus on staying nice and straight. See, 1, 2, 3, back on the side again. Okay, so if you think about what we've looked at now, we've looked at getting you straight. Okay, to get you straight, it's going to set you up for a better hand entry. We're going to work on the skull number 1. So as that hand spears into the water, that's the start of the catch, and the doggy paddle is pulling through with that elbow up high. Okay, and the angle in the arm that we spoke about. Okay.
And this is a sort of 3-part drill, and then the 2 others. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So they're the main ones we're going to work on today. So the alignment drills and the drills to help improve your catch and pull through. Before we get in the water, I'll show you the land-based exercise, a demonstration, just so you can kind of get a gist of what I'm talking about in relation to pulling through straight with the arm.
Okay. I hope I can remember everything.
No. Well, like I say, I'll send you a link, so you won't have to remember anything at all. And I'm here if you need to speak to me. I've got questions and things anyway. So let's quickly finish this off. Yeah. What you might find, I mentioned your stroke rate right at the beginning. Trying to get rid of those lines. I mentioned your stroke rate right at the beginning. It's quite slow. What we might find is that when we start to spear in and improve the quality of the catch and pull through, it might actually speed up the stroke rate. Okay. Because pushing down with long levers takes longer than it does to spear and get straight to the catch. Okay, so got any questions?
No, I think that's all clear.
Okay.
I can see what can be improved clearly.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, let's crack on then. We'll get you back in the water, and we'll
Okay.
we'll make a start. I'll just switch this off.